Tonight, I want you to try something. Turn off every light in your house. Put your phone away. Unplug your television. Switch off the fan. No internet. No flashlight. No refrigerator. No charger. Nothing. Now sit there for a moment. The silence feels strange. The darkness feels uncomfortable. And after just a few minutes, you'll probably want everything back. But here's the shocking part. For nearly all of human history, this wasn't an experiment. This was normal life. Every king, every farmer, every soldier, every explorer, every child, every civilization that existed before the late 1800s lived in a world without electricity, no matter how rich or powerful they were. And yet somehow, humans crossed oceans, built cities, created empires, wrote masterpieces, and survived for thousands of years without a single light switch. So how did they do it? How did they see after sunset? How did they preserve food? How did they stay warm during freezing winters? And what would happen if modern humans suddenly had to live the same way? Let's travel back to a world where darkness ruled every night. Chapter 1. When the sun was the clock. Today, most people wake up because an alarm tells them to, not because the sun rises. But for thousands of years, the sun controlled nearly every aspect of human life. When dawn arrived, people woke up. When darkness came, most activities stopped. Nature was the clock. There was no bright city skyline glowing all night, no illuminated highways. The moment the sun disappeared below the horizon, the world transformed. Darkness wasn't just inconvenient, it was dangerous. Predators became harder to spot. Travel became risky. Accidents became more common. Many roads essentially disappeared into blackness. Entire cultures developed around this daily cycle. People learned to finish important work before sunset, because once darkness arrived, options became limited. Today, we often ignore nature's schedule. Back then, nature made the rules. Chapter 2. The Battle Against Darkness. Humans have always feared darkness, but they also learned how to fight it. The first weapon was fire. Few discoveries changed human history more dramatically. Fire provided warmth, protection, cooking, and most importantly, light. Imagine sitting around a campfire 20,000 years ago. The flames flicker. Shadows dance across nearby rocks. Beyond the circle of light lies complete darkness. As civilizations grew, lighting technology improved. Ancient Egyptians used oil lamps. Romans used clay lamps filled with olive oil. Medieval families relied heavily on candles. But there was a catch. Light was expensive, very expensive. Today, we leave lights on without thinking. In the past, every minute of illumination cost resources. Poor families often used very little artificial light. Many simply went to bed soon after sunset. Reading at night was considered a luxury. Even wealthy households carefully managed their candles and oil supplies. Imagine deciding whether a single evening of reading was worth spending money on precious fuel. That's how valuable light once was. Chapter 3. Life Inside the Dark. Here's something modern people rarely experience. True darkness. Not city darkness. Not bedroom darkness. Real darkness. The kind that existed before electric lighting. On a moonless night, many places became nearly impossible to navigate. You couldn't simply pull out a smartphone flashlight. You couldn't switch on a porch light. You couldn't illuminate an entire room instantly. Darkness shaped behavior. Families gathered together. Stories became entertainment. Folklore spread from generation to generation. Ghost stories, legends, myths, and history were passed down around fires. Some historians believe storytelling became so important, partly because darkness naturally brought people together. People talked, listened, shared experiences. Human connection became entertainment. In many ways, darkness created community. Chapter 4. The Refrigerator Problem. Now imagine it's summer. You've just slaughtered an animal for food. You have hundreds of pounds of meat. What do? Today, the answer is easy. You put it in a refrigerator. But before electricity, this was one of humanity's greatest challenges. Food spoiled quickly, and spoiled food could mean starvation. Over thousands of years, humans developed ingenious solutions. They salted meat heavily. They smoked fish over fires. They dried fruits and vegetables. They fermented foods. They pickled almost everything imaginable. Many traditional foods still exist today because they were originally survival techniques. In colonial America, preserving food wasn't optional. It was essential. Families spent enormous amounts of time preparing food supplies for winter. One failed harvest could have catastrophic consequences. Food security required planning, skill, and constant effort. There were no grocery stores open 24 hours a day. There was no refrigerated truck arriving tomorrow. People survived because they learned to think months ahead. Chapter 5. Staying warm without electricity. Imagine a winter night in New England during the 1700s. Snow piles against the walls. Temperatures plunge below freezing. Outside, the wind howls. Inside, there is no electric heater, no thermostat, no central heating. only fire. Entire homes were designed around fireplaces. Families gathered close to the heat source. Rooms farther away often became extremely cold. People wore layers upon layers of clothing. Wool became incredibly valuable. Heavy blankets were essential. Sometimes family members even slept together simply to conserve body heat. Every piece of firewood mattered. A household's winter survival often depended on how much wood they had prepared during warmer months. Staying warm wasn't easy as adjusting a thermostat. It required planning, labor, and constant maintenance. Chapter 6. Surviving the summer heat. Winter wasn't the only challenge. Summer could be brutal, especially in the American South. Today, air conditioning is so common that many people barely think about it. But before electricity, people had to adapt differently. Homes were built strategically. Large windows encouraged airflow. High ceilings trapped rising heat. Covered porches provided shade. Trees were planted near houses to cool surrounding areas. Many activities were scheduled around temperature. People worked early in the morning, rested during the hottest part of the day, then returned to work later. Instead of changing the environment with machines, people changed their behavior, and surprisingly, it worked. Chapter 7. Communication at the speed of a horse. Imagine receiving a text message 3 months after it was sent. That sounds ridiculous today, but for most of history, communication was painfully slow. Information moved only as fast as transportation allowed. A letter might travel hundreds of miles by horseback. A message crossing the Atlantic Ocean could take weeks, sometimes months. News traveled slowly. Governments made decisions using outdated information. Businesses faced enormous uncertainty. Families often waited long periods to hear from loved ones. Patience wasn't a virtue, it was a necessity. When the telegraph arrived in the 1800s, many people described it as almost magical. For the first time in history, information could move faster than a human being. The world suddenly became smaller. But before that moment, distance created isolation unlike anything most people experience today. Chapter 8. Work was harder than you think. Let's talk about everyday chores. Today, washing clothes might take an hour. Most of that time is spent waiting for a machine. Before electricity, laundry could consume an entire day. Water had to be carried. Clothes had to be scrubbed by hand. Everything had to be wrung out manually, then dried naturally. The same was true for countless tasks: grinding grain, preparing meals, building structures, transporting goods, cleaning homes. Almost everything required physical effort. Machines powered by electricity removed an enormous burden from daily life. Many people today underestimate just how much labor was once required simply to survive. Electricity didn't merely add convenience, it gave people time that could be spent learning, creating, inventing, exploring, and improving society. Chapter 9. Entertainment before screens. So what did people do for fun? The answer might surprise you. They didn't spend their lives sitting around bored. Humans are naturally creative. They found entertainment everywhere. Music filled homes and communities. Families sang together. People danced. Local festivals attracted huge crowds. Sports were popular. Games existed long before electronics. Books became treasured possessions. Storytelling remained one of the most powerful forms of entertainment. People didn't just consume entertainment. They participated in it. In many communities, nearly everyone contributed. Chapter 10. The hidden strength of a world without electricity. Life before electricity was unquestionably harder. Disease was more dangerous. Work was more exhausting. Travel was slower. Comfort was limited. But there were certain strengths. Communities often depended heavily on one another. People spent more time outdoors. Many followed natural sleep patterns. Daily life moved at a slower pace. There were fewer distractions competing for attention. No endless notifications. No social media feeds refreshing every second. No emails arriving at midnight. Of course, nobody wants to give up modern medicine or modern conveniences, but it's interesting to consider what humanity may have gained and lost as technology transformed daily life. Chapter 11. The invention that changed everything. Then came electricity. At first, only a few people understood its potential. But once electric lighting appeared, everything began to change. Cities illuminated the night. Factories operated longer hours. Homes became brighter and safer. Communication accelerated. Food preservation improved dramatically. Medical technology advanced. Transportation evolved. Entire industries emerged. The transformation was so rapid that people living through it often described it as witnessing the future arrive in real time. Within just a few generations, humanity moved from candlelight to electric light, from horse messengers to instant communication, from ice houses to refrigerators. Take a moment and look around you. The screen you're watching, the lights above you, the internet connection delivering this video, the refrigerator in your kitchen, the charger powering your phone. So here's a question. If electricity disappeared tomorrow, how long do you think you could survive? A day? A week? A month? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.